I wouldn't think he's wrong.
Sink back there.
If you want to call him, I'll call Jordan and get it.
I figured, yeah.
Don't go too far back.
Texting me. He's back off again now. As soon as we're ready, I'll get us fired. Go, I'll let you forward in quick. Okay. All righty.
I was.
Never mind, I just saw it. Thanks. Bye. He's getting preemptive on me. I went to call him. He fired it up while I dialed.
He's actually paying attention.
All right. Okay, well. Good afternoon. Today is August 1st, 2023. The time is now 1:01 p.m. I'm Kevin Day, Chair of the Custer County Board of Commissioners. And I will call this meeting of the board to order. If you do have cell phones, I'd ask that you silence them at this time. I greatly appreciate that. And if you would join me for the pledge and for the invocation. Charles, I would ask that you lead us. Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you, sir. Heavenly Father, we come to you here today and we do ask that as we come together to do the business of the county, again, that you would be with us. We ask for your guidance, for your direction, for your wisdom. We just pray this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. And Bill, if you want to turn that down, you're more than welcome to. I turned it.
My head says yes.
Go ahead, sir. I changed it while you were gone, just to cool the room down a little bit. So growing pains, we're trying to figure out our AC unit.
We're going after a grant.
All right. Kelly, could we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Gay,
Here.
Commissioner Kanda,
Here.
Commissioner Flower,
Here.
Clerk to the Board, Kelly Camper, and Attorney Dan Slater.
Here.
Sorry. It's been a day.
You said yesterday it was going to be your day.
Yeah.
All right. And audience introductions, if we can, and we'll start right here.
Yes, my name is Sal Katz. I'm the Director of Rural Colorado Veteran Services from Mount Carmel Veteran Services.
Local rural banner.
Robert Hitchison, the new Custer County Veteran Service Officer.
Deborah Bowell, I'm with the Custer County Back and Profit. Marcy Gray, same. Feasibility, finance, and the HR.
Brayden Wilson, Director of Finance.
All right. And if somebody goes to speak later, if they could ID themselves for the record, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Any amendments to the agenda? No, sir.
None here.
Have no minutes today. Commissioner items, Commissioner Flower.
I don't have anything today, sir.
None here.
And none here. We're going to be moving right along. So.
Keep the trend going, fellas.
All right. A short time since yesterday. So. Anyhow. Any attorney items?
No. I had a couple of forms for you guys to sign up.
All right. Thank you, sir. Welcome back. And I guess I would ask you, Kelly, if you have anything for us.
I do not.
Okay. It takes us to public comment. If anybody has anything to comment on at this time that is not on the agenda, please feel free to do so at this time. Don't see anything here. I'm not seeing anything online. Okay. We have no unfinished business, so we'll move to new business. And our first item up would be a presentation from Mount Carmel on VSO support. So Sal, I would guess I would.
You're gonna need the projector,
Yes, sir.
so we're gonna have to make it so you can see it.
You have that on your computer, sir?
It's a living.
It is. Great haircut, sir.
Yeah, I like yours.
And then your cable server for that would be right there on that shelf with the water to hook onto your computer, or are you gonna do it wire?
Well, I can drive, not sure what their plan was there.
I think he said
was driving it
that
off.
you would need to hook into the,
I have to sit up here too, probably.
do the move again here.
Slide, maybe.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
That's your end, I think. Maybe they're the same end.
There'll be a slot right
You
there
must
on
be
the back.
missing that. You must be missing something. Oh, here it is.
No, it's on the back.
That won't plug into here. Hey, that won't plug in. We're doing the slideshow. No, we had it working on it.
And I can,
How do we do it?
I don't read it,
We've
so.
got it.
Yeah.
I've got it in my laptop, so we can do it like that. Is there any, in my words?
It's kind of-
This one here, maybe?
Yeah, this is the one I
This
was
is
talking
one.
about. Oh, yeah. the one
Buy,
down-
buy this.
It was the one by the water.
We'll get the double Dutch here.
Fine.
Awesome. Well, thank you for letting us be here today. My name is again Sal Katz. I'm the Director of Rural Colorado Services for Mount Carmel Veteran Service Center. A little bit about myself, but I'm not here to talk about myself, but I'm a 32-year combat veteran. Served in the United States Army with multiples of tours in the in Southwest Asia. And I'm here today just to support and provide you information and resources to the county commissioners in support of your new county veteran service officer, and especially for the veterans in Custer County. So all these services that that I'm going to try and provide you with some information on is specifically for all of Custer County. So our vision, of course, is to provide services for the entire Custer County, focusing here in West Cliff as the hub of Custer County and providing those services and building relationships within Custer County and tapping into the Colorado Springs and the Pueblo office and bringing all these resources that they have over there into Custer County. Building those relationships are impactful, especially for myself as before being the resource guy here for all of rural county. I built up all of Pueblo with a team of 4 full-time employees, which I'll share in a little bit, additional slides, but of those resources. But the most important thing is that we had a public-private partnership with AmeriCorps, and we're going to bring a Mount Carmel Veteran Service Center / AmeriCorps employee in support of Dominic, correct, with his Veteran Service Office VSO resources as well. So having a person boots on the ground here in Custer County, especially in West Cliff, and providing those services is extremely important. As I say, boots on the ground make a difference. Boots on the ground means the individuals here in support of Dominic and the entire Custer County veteran community. Next slide. Oh, I apologize. So we have 4 core programs, our transition and employment. We're going to bring all this down here. We're going to bring the resources available for the new employee. Her name is Christy Scram. She is a resident here in West Cliff. She is a veteran. Her husband is a veteran as well, and they have a family that provides a equine therapy as well for veterans. So really, we're tapped into the correct people to provide additional services as well. So we have a transition in employment. We have a health and wellness program, military and veterans and family services program, a Greek Connect, and then 2 additional core programs that fall under the core programs, which is a VBOCC, which is a Veterans Business Operations Center for veterans that want to be entrepreneurs. We will be bringing those opportunities for grants and resources so they can begin to start their entrepreneurship and building their own businesses as well. We also have I don't want to say suicide prevention, because I don't want to put a stigma under next chapter, but next chapter is you pick up a phone and you're going to talk to a veteran in support of concerns and or issues that collaborate with all these other core programs. So let's just say I'm a next chapter employee. I have the availability to tap into every single resource within Mount Carmel Veteran Service Center to support the behavioral health of a veteran, emotional health of a veteran to prevent suicide. So, for example, I want to call, and I call, and I have some concerns, and so does the next chapter peer navigator. We will link them up to provide services for suicide prevention, because some of these core programs are linked in to suicide. For example, if I lose my job, I will tap into transition and employment, or I'm in financial assistance need, I tap into the Military Veterans and Family Services Program, or a Greek Connect, where I find the triage, I find one of these resources to help the veteran navigate through the triage that we have. So that person that works alongside and partners with Dominic as the VSO, we want to make sure that Dominic does his job. He strictly does his veteran service officer job duties specifically for service connected disabilities, but he's going to be able to tap into Christie, and Christie will provide everything that the Veterans Administration does not apply. So we want to fill the gaps that the VA does not do. For an example, this morning I left my office in Pueblo. The veteran walks in, he has no Medicare, he's homeless, he doesn't have a car, no transportation, no food. We took care of that within 3 hours before leaving. So hopefully when I get back, everything will be taken care of with temporary shelter. We've given him food, we've given him some bus passes so we can come up and back. We also lined him up for a job interview for tomorrow morning, not high paying, but we're trying to triage and make this an immediate need of a veteran walking into our office and supporting his triage, his or her triage, and family members. This is also including military family members as well. So if I'm passed away and left my family still receives services as well. So a lot of moving parts in here. The county commissioners have a copy of all our core programs. I've given one to Dominic, and if you would like to have one of these, I'd be more than happy to share. I've given it to Braden, and he was more than happy to share this as well. So next slide, please. What we're trying to do, and this is all, I'm just going to say this, is we just want to build relationships to help support our military veterans and family members, to include our reservists, National Guard as well. So really, we just want to build partnerships within the rural counties, as Westcliff is one of 4 additional counties that we're moving into. We have Monte Vista, Glenwood Springs, Trinidad, and Custer County. We're in Pueblo and Colorado Springs with the potential growth of into, maybe I'll be speaking out of turn, but into Denver, as well into Aurora, where the large Denver Veterans Administration is as well. So we're moving and expanding across the state of Colorado to provide services for our veterans. Next slide. So our on the top left corner is, of course, Colorado Springs, and how we're set up here in Pueblo, and of course Christie on the bottom there, bottom middle there, AmeriCorps employee with Mount Carmel job duties, as I stated, in support of all our Custer County veterans and family members. Some of the partners that we've already, not all, are on the right-hand side, and we've partnered with them to ensure that these wraparound services that we tap into in Colorado Springs and Pueblo, that we're going to bring over here as well. For an example, we will really truly believe in food insecurities with high prices of food as well. We have the Colorado Springs has a large food pantry. Pueblo has half that size. Trinidad has a quarter of what I have. So we're trying to bring a food pantry as well, specifically for our veterans and our family members as well. So that's working really well. We also have legal services, free legal services. So if a veteran needs a power of attorney, will, etc., we have those resources available at a moment's notice to make those available. Next slide. So the goal again is to be well known within Custer County, to be the first, not that everyone wants to call Dominic for service connected disabilities, because we know through the pilot program with Mr. Eric Monsavillas as the regional veterans officer for the Colorado DMVA, but we know that having Eric in our office, it just multiplies with resources, because when the veteran sees Dominic, we know for a fact that they're going to need additional services that the Veterans Administration does not provide. We want to fill those gaps with Mount Carmel resources. Next slide. So again, boots on the ground and our outcomes is really important. We want to prevent suicide. We want to provide food insecurities, employment, reduce domestic violence, homelessness prevention as well. So, and again, and prevent addictions as well. So we have programs readily available, dominate through telehealth and anything available for that Chrissy will. And so when we hired Christy, we wanted to have a really strong background of veteran information about what she knows, but she's also tapped into her husband. She has a ranch that provides equine therapy as well. So really a lot of good synergy there of providing and helping Custer County veterans with services. Next slide. So again, next chapter, this is extremely important to myself because I've had some suicide friends and veterans that have committed suicide, and I am a father of a daughter that committed suicide, so I understand a little bit, not that I understand a lot of it, but I think it's extremely important to have next chapter a part of our program that can be reached out to all rural counties. There's a program called the military. I forgot, I'll get to it. But next chapter, they were tasked by the state of Colorado. This is a state-funded program to reach out to a minimum of 700 clients in 3 years. We've already exceeded that to over 450 direct contacts with, I don't want to say individuals and family members that wanted to commit suicide, but we wanted to make sure that the services were provided. So they're far exceeding their allotted number. I don't want to say a number, but we're there. So next chapter started last Monday, and we've seen 11 people in our clients in Pueblo, 5 veterans and 5 family members. So it was really important to have these this program there readily available for veterans and family members. Next slide. So Custer County, right in there. This is where we belong. We want to help Dominic 100%. And of course, I keep saying Custer County veterans because we know that I want to say the population of Westbrook is on about 8,000 or so, with a veteran community of 14%, which is just under 700 veterans and family members specifically here in Westbrook. So really, really important. We want to tap into those numbers, and those numbers are from the U.S. Census Bureau of 2020. There are no new numbers yet, but when they come out in 2024, we'll have those. Next slide. So again, those numbers here, 14% of Custer counties are specifically veterans. Next slide. So here's some of the things that we offer specifically in Pueblo, only because of the relationships that we built. And I'm on the phone, actually on the way here, and now we have a masseuse, a massage therapist, coming once a week into our Pueblo office to provide massages for specifically veterans and family members in need of massage. So we have our free acupuncture. It's done once a week. We have an arts program at the Sangre de Cristo Arts Center. Our next chapter program, I mean, literally tapping into agencies that are for-profit and for nonprofit that will provide services for veterans is extremely important, and it's my responsibility as a veteran of 32 years to provide that for veterans and their family members. Next slide. So we're tapped into the Division of Veterans Affairs, which is the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, and that's where Dominic works out of. And Eric has been serving Custer County since before he arrived. We do Medicaid mentors, and we're also tapped into Pueblo Community College and CSU Pueblo as well, with the upward upward bound program for veterans to receive education as well. Next slide. So we're also, again, I mentioned earlier about legal services. Anybody needing legal services, we're tapped in not only with the Pueblo Pro Bono Project, provides free veterans for legal service, but also the Colorado Springs office as well, with their advocacy project, specifically for veterans, really, really important. And then on the bottom left corner, that was 2 weeks ago, and we can have them here, is that we had the Rocky Mountain Veterans Advocacy Program come out and help veterans that did not receive honorable discharges. They received general or dishonorable discharges. There's an appeal process that we have that can help them submit an appeal for an honorable discharge or a general, just upgrading their discharge as well. So next slide. Equine therapy is important. I do it, so I think it's pretty cool. And Christy has her ranch that will also, not specifically focusing on one equine therapy program, but I'm sure there are additional certified equine therapy programs within Custer County. But we want to tap into those and provide those services for veterans that are in that need. And of course, the healing part of art. And that starts August 26th in Pueblo. And maybe there is something here that we can tap into to build that public-private partnership and provide art therapy for veterans that want to express themselves with art. Next slide. That's all I have. I'm extremely happy to be here, but and I'm open for questions. But before I do, there's something that I was a senior enlisted soldier. I couldn't get promoted anymore, so I'm part of the 0.5%. I retired as a command sergeant major, and challenge coins were important to me. But this challenge coin is even more important because this has a phone number, it has a web page, it has a QR code. Because when you leave here, you yourself help Dominic and myself provide this information and to seek Christy for us to help them. So all you do is you go like this. You need to go see Dominic and or Christy for services, and our phone number is right there. So instead of having just a card or anything, just pass a coin to a veteran or to a family member that is in need, and we're going to help them. We're not going to say, in my office, in the Pueblo office, I never say no. I might not be able to provide them exactly what they want, but we're going to give them something to help support their effort and their triage. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And that I'm open for questions. Anything.
Sal, I got a comment, I guess.
Yes, sir.
This fine young lady that you are just getting ready to hand the challenge coin to, Marcy Gray, she's involved with the, I'm gonna call it Karen Share, up here at Food Bank. Would you like to just tell Sal real quick?
Well, yeah, I was going to stand up anyway,
Oh.
but, yes, the Custer County Community Sharing Center, we can get a lot of our food from Karen Share in Colorado Springs and Pueblo. We would love to help the veterans. We have many veterans as our clients, but they're mostly older veterans. There are the Vietnam age. And the younger ones, we understand, just don't want to come into. And they drive their cars up and we put the food in their car, so they don't have to go inside anymore. But we've tried on several occasions to get to make ourselves available to veterans. We would open at a different hour for them or something. So we would love to help any way we can. Yeah.
And you're on the board of directors?
Yes.
And that's for Karen Share, right?
No.
Well, we get food from Karen Share, but we're called Custer County Community Sharing Center. It's open for all clients.
So I'd like to caveat on that. So Karen Share partnered with us before us moving into rural counties, and we averaged probably 300 to 400 community members because we want to make sure that our services are not just specifically for veterans, but we opened it up for the community. So we made sure that we tapped in there. And that's how I found all our veterans within our Pueblo, not all of them, that we continue to service. They stopped giving us services for 3 months because their focus changed, Karen, sure, into the rural counties with the new distribution center, Alamosa. So now they're coming, they came back only because they had a lack of numbers and they wanted to re-engage that. So what I did, ma'am, was we built, Mount Carmel built it's called Helping Hands Pueblo Community Coalition with about 15 to 20 nonprofit and for-profit organizations that meet the first Wednesday of every month. And we provide services to every single person that walks in, from the Pueblo Food Project, Care and Share, free optometry clinic, free dentistry, the library. Every single agency is welcome into our event on this first Wednesday of every month. And actually it's tomorrow. And we've averaged about 2 to 10 community members, to include all family members, that get free service. Because I enjoy Care and Share. And they drop 5 pallets of food and we get rid of it. We hand it out to our community, probably within 2 hours. So maybe, I know the executive officer for Care and Share, because I believe that the food pantry that we want is just to offset some of the services that you provide and to reinforce and not duplicate, but we want to reinforce your services.
And that's one of the troubles somehow that you do duplicate, and we have to work with Care and Share because Care and Share is pretty particular. There's 2 food pantries in one location. But we're certainly open to figure out how to get the veterans to us. And like I said, we have many veterans, but they're the older veterans. So the young ones, they don't want to reach out to us. And so will definitely work with you and see, there's what we can do to help them. We won't deliver, except, well, I'll take that back. We'll get food ready. I won't go out into the mountains and deliver. But I will get the food ready and they can drop by. So we can work out something, and we've tried before, we really have. And we sometimes make progress and then we don't, we back up.
Some of the stuff that's in our food pantry is not from Care and Share, and it's myself writing grants for available rural county services for agencies that want to give to veterans. And that's what comes into the food pantry, not to offset from Care and Share, but I do understand, and because I sent my numbers in this morning from last month. So and again, I want to support your effort.
Well, Care and Share right now has a food shortage also, and we're not getting as much food as we did before. So we go out and buy our food too, because we have a very generous community that gives us money, and we'll go order it at our grocery store. And so all the food that we give out isn't from Care and Share. We try to, and plus we try to get them a variety of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But it's going to be here, and I'll be working collaboratively with the council to provide additional food insecurities as well.
Yeah, we have quite a few food insecurities there.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Christie, I was actually hoping that she would be here with you today.
Sure, she was invited, sir. She is on a medical appointment in Salida today. But she is excited. I did talk to her this morning. but I just wanted to make sure that you know that she'll be here Monday, the first day. August 5th is when her grant begins with AmeriCorps, and August 7th, that Monday, she'll be here. And now that I have Dominic's information, or will be getting it, we'll continue to move forward. I'll probably have to come here on Monday just to make sure that we're all lined up and linked together. I'm sure we will be. All I want to do is continue to serve, and I've served for 32 years, and that's what I continue to do. Because our veterans do deserve. Everything. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks yourself.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Move my chair back around here.
You all your stuff back there.
All righty, that'll work.
Go to the musical chair all day, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I figured that out.
Hopefully, I just have a conversation. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Always, thank you, appreciate it.
Sal, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take
Have a great
care,
day.
Sal. See ya.
What's the weather?
Okay, the next item that we have on our agenda now would be the consideration of the donation to the Custer County Backpack Project. And
That's
so
me.
I guess you will be.
Where's your backpack?
Here, well, we gave it.
Oh,
away.
there it is, right there.
I'm gonna just stand over here. We go from a population that we really need to serve to another population we need to serve, which is our school children. I'm Deborah Vowell. I've been in education for 30 years in Colorado and New Mexico. And I've taught from elementary all the way through graduate level college. And we've just been in this area 4 years. And my husband happened to cross Marcy. And she handed off the backpack project to our oversight because she just got her hand in too many things. And so we kind of built it up by soliciting more donations. And because of COVID, actually, the need is greater. Number one, the last 3 years, the shipping has been a problem to order things online. It's getting better. Number two, the price of school supplies has gone up 44% the last 3 years. And the parents in this area, if you have multiple kids, you're just in a quandary because a mid-school backpack full of supplies is going to cost a parent $120 in this district. And that's to get everything that the school is asking. So we average about $50 a backpack. And that's pre-K through 12. And last year we did 138 backpacks. And we spent over $5,000. And that's from trying to be frugal with the money, order wholesale when we can. And that means we've got to spend $1,000 to get the good prices at one time. And so it just continues to grow. At this time, we have 121 orders in for this school year. And we usually get a rush right at the end when parents realize they haven't gone shopping yet. And it's a long way to the stores to go get things. So we operate, the last 3 years, we've spent about $14,000 trying to get a good supply base to where when students moved in during the year, they're new, the school calls us, and we've got what we need to rush them down the backpack and then they're supplied for the year. And last year, I just wanted to give you a short story. Last year, we set up on the school parking lot with 130 backpacks, and people were coming by to pick up backpacks, but other people were just coming by to say, what is this? And we encountered 3 older men, I would say at least 80 years and up, who actually came up, asked what was going on, donated, and said, I was the kid every year I went to school who had nothing on the first day. And they actually teared up, and it made us realize it is important. Yeah, it's just stuff in the backpack. But when that kid goes to school, the first day of school, and he doesn't have what the other kids have, that's traumatizing. And we make sure and provide every single thing the school asks for to every single kid who asks for it. We don't ask questions about, are you really needy, or your parents sure can't get this. We just take the request. When Marcy was handling it, it started with Marcy, and she ran it for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. And now we've had it 3 years, our organization. We're the Church of Christ kind of does all the work and the ordering, and we run our budget through our nonprofit in a different account, so that kind of frees Marcy up. But we think this is a worthy cause, and we'd like to ask the county to invest and donate. Any questions?
So people, they can fill out a request form ahead of time to request a backpack?
Yes, sir. We advertise on Facebook, and they can Facebook me, message me. We have a website. I think it's on the material I gave you. They just go to the website. There's a form. They fill it out and get it instantly. They can call. They can email Custer County Backpack Project at gmail.com.
What, you mentioned your name, but
Yes.
would you spell it out? Because it's not on your, it's not on
No,
your
it's
sheet.
not on there.
You don't want it on there?
No, because it would make fun of how it's said.
No.
It's DABAREH. Last name Vowell with 2 L's. VOWEL.
I won't make
just
fun
tell
of that.
people to say it's Deborah, but act like you're from
Deborah,
Texas.
Deborah,
You're just act like you're from Texas. Deborah.
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 Okay, I can handle that.
I just want to add just a little bit. Originally, when this started, when I found a need for it, the school would have a senior that was really trying for a scholarship to Harvard or a scholarship to here. So they would do a backpack program, and then it looked really good on their resume. And they would help 20 kids. But then we found a need that there really were a lot of kids that needed. So I think for the last 4 years I was on there, we worked with the school, which we're still working with the school. But they took all that, they would send out a broadcast, and then the people would come through the school. The school would give us that we have a female, a second grade, whatever it is, and then we would do it that way. Then we'd take the backpacks to the school. The last couple of years, we found that wasn't working as well, because we lost a couple good secretaries in the office at school that could handle all this. So she just went out and said, okay, we're gonna do it with the school, but we're gonna handle the backpacks out in the parking lot. And they reach so many more kids than what I could reach, and they have so much more help. And for the last, I think the first year we worked side by side, and the second year it's like, you're doing a better job than me. So you've got it under Valley Park and Rec. So she's taken it even further, and not only do the kids appreciate it, the teachers appreciate it, because they don't have to get in their pockets and furnish a pencil for this kid, a marker for this kid, a notebook for this kid. And it really helps the teachers. And so the teachers are very involved.
And we do provide directly to the teachers with things they request, like the art teacher gets all the sketchbooks and I take in card stock.
And when they had IT, we gave them thumb drives and stuff like that.
And new teachers, last year we had a couple of new teachers and they just contacted me and said, this is what I need for my classroom and this is last minute. So we just went ahead.
And then we also provide the Kleenex for the school that is required on their little baggies, Kleenex, sanitizer, paper towels, wipes. We also provide that to the school.
How much money you need?
Well, about as much as you pay for a new air conditioner.
This one's worth $35. You better want it.
Maybe I would be thrilled with 1,000. If you could see to give us 1,000, that would do, you know, that would get us set for next year to where next summer we're ordering and we've got enough to do another year.
That was gonna be a couple of my questions real quick, because school starts pretty quick here.
Yes.
And I thought I heard you say earlier that you have your stock for this year.
Yes, we got them all.
And so you're trying to go ahead and make sure that you have your steady supply coming.
Yes,
Why it's on sale? Why it's on
and
sale?
the cheapest time to buy school supplies is right after school starts.
Does that include the calculators?
No, they-
Calculators are expensive.
Calculators.
They're not getting any anymore.
Well, it's not school supply list. but
It
we
is.
don't-
It's supposed to find out.
It ought to be, but they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, we don't.
I think at one time, we bought a couple and gave it to the math teacher.
Yeah.
And then the kids could
Borrowing.
borrow it. And if they really would request that would probably be a thing to do. I've done that before, because you just can't give all the kids.
And I should have brought a supply list. I don't know. If you look.
Yeah, I don't have a, what I'm told.
Any more questions?
Braden might.
If we, donated some money now for next year, you're not gonna come back here next year and want some more money for this year, are you?
Not for this year, no.
Or even for next year.
If you wanted to just go the next 10 years, I'll take the
You,
one.
you do that, but we don't want to encumber you with a lot of money to keep track
No,
of
no.
all. Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Well, I certainly think it's a worthwhile project. I know Marcy's been involved in it for a long time, and so I taught school here for 23 years myself. I've got a couple grandkids. I was gonna mention this about the whole COVID thing, you know, they had to stop leaving stuff at school, and I was amazed at how much stuff my grandkids hauled to and from home every day.
Yeah,
They
they
went
could
through,
use a locker.
yeah, they went through 2 or 3 backpacks in 1 year. So,
Community outreach,
yeah.
just short of 7,000.
Yeah.
but
Would we give them $1,000 out of community outreach?
I'll second that.
Okay, so I do have a motion on the floor to donate $1,000 to the Custer County Backpack Project to come out of community outreach. Discussion.
Do you have a place where you get the majority of your backpacks from?
I order from 3 wholesale backpack companies online. And Marcy was using kits for kids, and they furnish the sanitizing kits and the hygiene kits, and they also have wholesale prices. So we've ordered two big orders of backpacks this year already, so that we're set.
Good. That's all I had.
Anything from you, sir?
No.
Okay, anything from any comment from the audience, unless anything online? Those in favor then of supporting the Custer County Backpack Project for $1,000 to come out of community outreach, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries, so. we will get you with, finance to make the arrangements with that, if you don't mind, so. And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We served as a board of health this morning, so we better not find out you're putting cigarettes in them backpacks.
Or chewing
And
tobacco.
chewing tobacco, yeah, you'd be in big trouble.
I'm afraid they have no need of that.
Yeah, that's good. There might be some want, but no need.
We're just careful with scissors. That's our main.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Do we have any other additional items of business?
Nothing for me.
Okay, that does take us to our public comment. And so if anyone has anything that they would like to comment on publicly, now would be your opportunity to do so.
I would just again welcome Dominic. Good to have you here, my friend.
Happy to be here, Parker.
So,
Anything we can do to make transition easier or
No, it's good grading, just square some, this stuff away and we can already up and running.
you know,
Already got people, it's good.
I'll speak with you here in a little while too. I know we threw a little bit at you today. I'm glad to see your computer showed up this morning and, so happy about, I'm sure you're happy about that as
I am.
well.
One more missing piece, so I can access the VA side of things, but I'm working with IT to get that and then I'll be 100% up and running.
All right. And then throwing in another person for you to work with over there as well. So I don't know. I'm assuming you're somewhat used to that because of some of the programs you ran before.
Right, yeah, being the one source is kind of like, the one source is mirrored after Mount Carmel, so it's kind of a similar situation. I had HUD-Bash, VOA, recommending the services. All of them see that one recommends all those, so it's kind of the same thing now being with Mount Carmel. So it'll be good to have.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, and I'm not seeing any hands online. So I need to,
yeah, I would move that we go into recess and enter into executive session for legal advice.
I'm saying,
okay, so I do have a motion to recess the BOCC meeting and enter into executive session for legal advice for CRS 24-6-402, parent 4, parent B. And so those in favor?
Aye.
right,
Aye. Okay, now. Give me 1 second here. I need to. I'm finding the right. Okay, and those to attend this executive session will be the 3 commissioners, Commissioner Kanda, Commissioner Day, Commissioner Flower, our attorney Dan Slater, clerk to the board Kelly Camper, and I will need to give a call to our sheriff, Rich Smith. Is there anyone else that we need to have at this? Okay, so if I will give him a quick call, we will recess and go into executive session shortly.
Which one?
With your family.
He's on.
Okay, looks like we're up and running. Are you set, Kelly?
Mhm.
Okay, so now the time is now 2:29 PM. The executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were myself, Kevin Day, Commissioner Tom Flower, Commissioner Bill Kanda, County Attorney Dan Slater, Clerk to the Board Kelly Kemper, and our Sheriff Rich Smith. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record now. Hey, Dan, if you could verify.
I would certify that the contents of the executive session were limited to legal advice regarding the sheriff's office pursuant to statute. And that the discussions did not veer outside of that.
Thank you, sir. And that being the case, we have no other items on our agenda. So I will adjourn this meeting at 2:30 PM.
You said 5.
Yes, sir.
And my apologies, I am working very hard trying to get us to manual service.
I figured it.
I'm going to Florence for that fire department.